Okay, so a lot of you have seen my forehand for Ultimate Frisbee video using a regular Ultimate Frisbee disc. Throw another one. And you've asked for comments on what the difference is between Ultimate Frisbee and disc golf drivers. So I'll throw a few of those too, and then we'll talk about what I think the differences are. Better keep an eye on these. Ooh, that one turned into a roller. Jeez. So, I'll go pick those up and then we'll chat about it. So the major difference you'll notice right away with my differences in these discs right away is the size and the profile, right? So this thing is like, it's like throwing a mattress compared to that one. And the flight characteristics of each are quite different. This one, when I'm releasing it, I'm trying to release it at this dropped outer edge angle. And if you're an Ultimate Frisbee player with a good forehand, you know, with that IO shape, or a good backhand, same thing, releasing it like that, it can be very uncomfortable switching to these disc drivers where if you try to make that same throw, I'll show you what the difference is. Like this disc kind of flattens out nicely when you release it with that low angle. Turns flat. This one, when I release it on that angle, it's just gonna squirt off to the side. That's gone. And that can be like a useful technique to have in disc golf, where you want it to like slice to the right like that. But in order to throw your disc golf driver straight, you have to capitalize on that hyzer sort of S turn in the air. And to get that, I've found that I've had to release it, instead of releasing it down here, I'm actually kind of like chopping into my drive. I'm almost trying to throw it like on that kind of angle and sort of down. So we'll throw a couple and see if I get that hyzer, anhyzer, first part of the S, second part of the S curve. Ooh. We'll wait for that soccer player to go by. Okay, should be out of range now. I'll see if I can zoom in and get the rest of that flight. There it goes. It's hard to get on the camera here. I'll see if I can capture it this next one. My own cameraman. Oh, that one's just taken off. Where is it? Oh God. All right, so I don't know if you got much for the flight characteristics of those, but stay in the air a lot longer, way higher release velocity, and a shit ton of spin on those things, right? So on my forehand, I got a lot of spin on that release, so it actually fights. It prevents it from wanting to turn over quicker. On a lower velocity and lower spin throw, it's going to transition from that hyzer to the anhyzer much faster. So another thing that's going to impact that release angle is the type of driver you have, and I'm still pretty new to this, but say this one, for example, this Pro Boss, if you look at the numbers on it, you've got 13, 5, -1, and 3. And I think the 13 is the speed, which means that this is going to be a very aggressively tapered disc. It's going to have a very sharp edge on it. So does this one actually, but probably less so, the Nuke. And then I've also got this Wraith, which is an 11, so it's going to be a little bit blunter in terms of that sharpness of the edge. And I've found that with these higher speed discs, like the Boss, when you've got a higher number on as that first one, it's more prone to having an exaggerated S-curve flight path, that hyzer to anhyzer, and you're gonna have to account for that fading off to the end, or for me, because I throw right-handed forehand, it's going to fade this way and then quite a lot of fade to the right at the end of the flight. Versus the Nuke, which for me almost just holds one initial curve the whole time, just because there's so much spin on it and it doesn't have those same flight characteristics. So get yourself a bunch of different drivers, try them all out, find the ones that work for you, and enjoy the fun of disc golf and ultimate.